So Halloween Ends is coming out real soon, but we're going to talk about a bombshell that Danielle Harris just dropped on her Talk Scary to Me podcast concerning the future of the franchise. So nobody's talking about that, so I figured I'd talk about that instead of talking about the new image that shows Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers fighting. What's up, guys? Welcome to a Halloween update. I don't really do Halloween updates as much as I used to. As far as like Halloween Ends, I just don't have the passion to put out an update for like every image that comes out or whatnot. I know that Total Film just released their cover of what it's going to look like, which I'll definitely get that. As a matter of fact, I have the Halloween Kills one right here. So I definitely want to get the Ends one as well. It looks pretty awesome. I love this cover for Halloween Kills. The thing I really wanted to talk to you guys about was Danielle Harris herself. I was listening to the Talk Scary to Me podcast today. Huge shout out to my friend Beth. She told me she's like, did you listen to the podcast? Because she talked about possibly a Jamie Lloyd story. And she hasn't really been talking too much about her involvement in the franchise. She did kind of drop a little bit of tea on Malek Akkad a while back. He was basically playing both sides of the fence as far as like her being cast in Rob Zombie's Halloween. And I guess behind the scenes, he didn't really want her to be in. But I guess they've mended fences or something like that. But she talked to Malek Akkad recently, and because Halloween Ends is coming out, of course there's going to be more movies. And so she had this idea. I think she said she just like one day just thought, she was on a plane. And on the plane, she just had this idea of, that psychic connection, I guess, that we saw in Halloween 5 that she had with Myers. Well, what if we do a sequel to that in the modern day and that, I guess, power presents itself? And so she can see Myers actually killing people. And so maybe that's how she comes back into the fold. I can play you a clip of what she stated about it, just so you guys can see.
So I had this idea, because everybody obviously always asks me, and I had shared this with Malek Akkad, actually. But everybody always asks, obviously, would I ever come back to Halloween?
Yeah, I know you addressed that in the podcast.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, obviously not as anything other than Jamie, but I wonder what would happen after Halloween Ends. I think it'd be really cool if they brought Jamie back. Since Jamie Lee Curtis is gone, I'm assuming she's going to be gone after this.
Yeah, they have to do something.
They got to do something.
They have to do a massive thing.
They have to
do. I really hope they do something fucking cool with those two,
yeah,
holding each other and dying at the same time.
Well,
you know,
I don't think it's going to be over. Adopted and told that her mom was dead just to protect her. She's obviously alive and has kids that know nothing about her. Moved out of Haddonfield after the ordeal with her stepfather to the city. Changed their names. Jamie went through major therapies and treatments for her trauma. That part of her life is behind her. She lives in a big city, Chicago, happily married. She's got 2 young children. One of her daughters is showing signs of mental illness, and Jamie is picking up on it. Is it genetic in the family? Are the visions and nightmares she's having triggering her and jarring memory where we, as the audience, see momentary acts of violence? Is she still connected to Michael Myers and his visions like she was in Halloween 5? Does her husband know anything about her past? Will he seek out Jamie Lee Curtis to bring closure? I think I meant she. Will she seek out Jamie Lee Curtis to bring closure? Will Jamie seek her out? Does she know she exists?
But I guess I'll give you my thoughts on this. Going back to me talking about Jamie Lloyd in the past, you guys know I'm a huge fan of the Thorn trilogy. Yes, I consider Part 4 part of the Thorn trilogy, even though they don't even, who cares? But man, I sound cynical today, Jesus. But I do love the character of Jamie Lloyd. I do. And I would highly welcome her to return and have, one more go at Michael Myers, because she didn't really get a fair shake in Part 6. So maybe just ignore Part 6 and just have her come in the present day. I think her story, where she's basically living in Chicago, I guess, and I don't know if she would have to go back to Haddonfield, something like that. I mean, you don't really have to go too crazy with Halloween. You can keep it simple. I mean, it worked for Halloween 4, right? So why not do it for this? But really, we never saw an adult Jamie Lloyd, not played by Danielle Harris. Yes, she played Annie, but Annie and Jamie Lloyd are two different characters, you know? So I think she's probably been thinking about Jamie Lloyd for all these years. Like, what would I do with that character? You know, because she owns that character. You know, when you think Jamie Lloyd, you think Danielle Harris. So I'm sure she would jump at the chance to actually go back and play that character again. And if you remember, I put out a video. I actually asked her if she would think about doing a fan film. And at the time, she told me she didn't want to ruffle any feathers with the Akkads. And so now, knowing this, and she's talked to Malek Akkad, maybe it's a possibility, you know? I mean, we all say that Danielle Harris is not going to put butts in the seats like Jamie Lee Curtis did. But she does have a big following. And Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be out of the picture anyway. If you got to go a direction with Myers, then why not go Jamie Lloyd? She does have a built-in fan base, you know? Instead of doing a remake, which remakes I think are tired at this point. To start at the beginning again, that sounds exhausting, just saying it. I would rather them pick up somewhere. I wouldn't be against, you know, bringing in a fresh batch of victims, but you could have your cake and eat it too. You could still bring in a fresh batch of victims and have Jamie Lloyd come into the picture. Win-win, right? So that's my thoughts. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this, though. It's exciting to me that Danielle Harris is still talking about the possibility and that she came up with her own idea in her head to have a return of the character. I would love it. So anyway, let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this. I'm going to be doing a stream with Lindsay right before Halloween ends. She wanted to do one after Halloween ends. I was like, why don't we just do two of them? So that way we can go in before. You can give me your expectations, and then maybe she goes and sees Ends and she likes it, and then we could talk about it after. Because I'm betting that she's probably not going to like it, given that she hated the previous two. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be duking it out, and it's always fun when me and Lindsay fight over Halloween. Be sure to become a patron at the Dedicated to You podcast that we're doing now. We're recording episode 4. This Sunday, episode 1 has been put out, and every other Monday, another episode is going to be put out. So be sure to jump into that. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me Drumdums on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me coffee. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Drumdum out.